It's 6:40 in the morning, and I already know the sound before I'm awake enough to place it. That low, dry heave coming from the hallway. The third time this week. I'm reaching for the paper towels before my feet even hit the cold floor, because I know what's waiting for me on the rug. Maybe you know that sound too. The hairball, the thing we all shrug off as just part of living with a cat. But here's what I want you to look at, because most people walk right past it. That wretch is dry. Nothing's coming up, or barely anything. Go check the litter box after, and you'll see it. The stool is smaller than last week, harder, little dark pellets instead of a smooth formed log. And your cat, who inhales breakfast every single morning, is suddenly picking at the bowl and walking away. Those aren't four separate little problems. That's one problem wearing four different coats. The hair your cat swallowed while grooming isn't moving through. It's stuck. And the gut that's supposed to be pushing it along has slowed to a crawl. Now, most people fight this the way the pet aisle wants them to. You buy the malt-flavored gel in the tube. $8, $12, $15. Your cat licks it off your finger, you feel like you did something, and you buy it again next month. Or you switch to the special hairball control kibble. Or when it turns into a real backup, you're sitting in my exam room paying for a visit. Here's the trap. That greasy paste is a lubricant. It greases the hair so it slides through. It does nothing for the slow, dry gut that let the hair pile up in the first place. You're treating the puddle and ignoring the leak. So I want you to sit with this for a second. There is one plain plant fiber, sold for pennies a serving, that does something that tube of paste simply cannot. It pulls water into the gut. It bulks and softens what's in there, and it carries that swallowed hair out the back end, in the stool where it's supposed to go, not up onto your rug at dawn. The gut problem and the hairball problem fixed by the same spoonful. I've spent decades treating cats, and the fix I trust most for this was never on the pharmacy shelf. I learned it from an old mentor of mine, a vet who'd been practicing since before those fancy hairball kibbles ever existed. He kept a jar of this plain powder right there in his exam room. He'd reach for it before he reached for anything with a brand name on it. So, here's what I'm going to give you. The one fiber, the exact amount, the 3 signs that tell you it's working, and the 2 mistakes that make it backfire. Simple enough to start at dinner tonight. And by the end, you'll understand why the hairball was never really the problem. Your cat's gut was. Let me start with what a hairball actually is, because almost everyone gets this backwards. Your cat grooms. That rough tongue pulls loose hair down the throat, and it gets swallowed. Normally, that hair keeps moving, down through the stomach, through the intestine, and out in the litter box, wrapped up in the stool, where you never even notice it. A hairball is what happens when that hair doesn't make the trip. It collects in the stomach because things slowed down. So the real trouble was never that your cat swallowed hair. Every cat does. The trouble is the hair stopped moving, and that means this was never a hair problem. It was always a gut problem. Fix how things move and hydrate through the intestine, and both the hairballs and the hard, dry stool ease up together. That's the whole idea, and everything I'm about to tell you rests on it. So, let me tell you what goes in the bowl. It's plain psyllium husk powder. That's it. It's the same soluble fiber sitting in the human supplements at any pharmacy, the stuff people take for their own digestion. You want it food grade and unflavored. No sweeteners, no added anything. Just the ground husk of a seed from a plant called plantago. Pennies a serving, and 1 bag lasts you months. Here's why it works when that greasy tube doesn't. Psyllium doesn't coat the hair and hope it slides. It goes to work with the digestive system itself. The first thing it does is pull water in. Psyllium is a soluble fiber that draws water into the gut and forms a soft gel. That gel bulks up what's in the intestine, and that bulk is what tells the colon to squeeze and push things along. So a gut that had gone slow and dry gets moisture back and starts moving again. That's the constipation side handled. Those hard little pellets in the box start coming out soft and formed instead. The second thing is what makes this perfect for hairballs. That same gel grabs the swallowed hair and sweeps it through the tract so it leaves the body the right way. Out the back, in the stool, not sitting in the stomach collecting into a wad that comes up on your rug at dawn. One fiber, two problems, the slow gut and the stuck hair, both moving again. Now, I don't want you taking my word alone, so let me show you what the research actually says. There's a study published in the Journal of Nutrition, a careful one, blinded, where cats took turns on the real thing and a dummy version so nobody's expectations could tip the result. Cats with a history of hairballs got a psyllium-based chew twice a day for 2 weeks. The result? 29% fewer clinical signs of hairballs. That's the coughing, the retching, the vomiting, all of it, counted up and dropped by nearly a third. I'll be straight with you about one thing in that study, because I'd rather you trust me than be impressed. When they looked at actual vomiting on its own, that specific number didn't drop enough to call it certain. The overall load of symptoms fell. That's real, and it's worth a lot. But I'm not going to tell you it erased the vomiting, because the data didn't say that. There's a second study I want you to know about, published in Veterinary Medicine and Science. Researchers fed cats a diet with psyllium and higher fiber, and then measured how much hair actually came out in the stool. Over just 14 days, the long-haired cats passed noticeably more hair out the back end. That's the mechanism I described, caught on paper. More hair leaving the right way means less of it building up to come back the wrong way. And here's the honest edge of it. That effect showed up clearly in the long-haired cats, not the short-haired ones, in that particular trial. If you've got a long-haired cat, this is squarely for you. And none of this is fringe. Reach past hairballs for a second. Vets use psyllium all the time for plain gut trouble, constipation, a sluggish, oversized colon, certain kinds of loose stool, bowel disease that needs gentle fiber support. This is a well-worn tool. We just don't often say it out loud to cat owners because there's a tube on the shelf that's easier to sell. So here's how you actually do it. And this is where you need to listen closely because the details are what make it work or make it backfire. Buy plain, food-grade, unflavored psyllium husk powder. Read the label. If it lists sweeteners, skip it. One sweetener in particular, xylitol, has no business anywhere near your pets. You want the husk and nothing else. Now, the amount. That title says a tablespoon, and I'm going to be honest with you, the way I always am. A cat is not a person. You do not dump a human-sized tablespoon into a cat's bowl. A cat's dose is small. We're talking a modest pinch worked into food, not a heaping spoon. The tablespoon idea is an over a whole day, mixed into meals notion, and even then, it's more than most cats need. Start smaller than you think. Your vet can give you the exact amount for your cat's weight, and that's the number I want you using. Mix it into wet food, never dry. The moisture is the point. Stirring dry powder onto dry kibble works against you. And this is the one rule you do not break: water. Psyllium works by soaking up water and swelling. Give it without enough moisture in the gut, and that same swelling that's supposed to help can bunch up and cause a blockage, the exact thing we're trying to prevent. So this only goes in wet food, and your cat needs fresh water available. If your cat won't drink much, talk to your vet before you start. This matters more than anything else I've said. Then start low and go slow. Introduce a little, mixed in over several days, and let the gut adjust. Rush it, and you'll get gas or loose stool, and you'll blame the fiber when it was really the hurry. Here are the 3 signs it's working, so you know to keep going. The stool in the box turns soft and formed, instead of hard little pellets. Your cat goes back to finishing meals, and that dawn retching gets rarer. Give it time. Psyllium can take a couple of days, sometimes up to 3, to show its work. This is not a same-night fix. It's a settle-the-gut fix. And here are the 2 mistakes that ruin it. The first you already know, not enough water. The second is skipping the vet. Straining, hard stool, and repeated vomiting can also point to bigger things. A colon that's stretched too far, bowel disease, a true blockage. Cilium is support. It is not a diagnosis, and it is not a cure for everything that looks like a hairball. Get your cat looked at first, especially if these signs are new or your cat seems to be in real distress. Now, let me tell you why you probably never heard this from the pet aisle. Pick up one of those branded hairball remedies next time you're in the store. Turn it over. Read the ingredients. There's a good chance fiber is right there doing the actual work, dressed up in a flavored paste at many times the price. There's no real money in a bag of plain psyllium that costs a few dollars and lasts you half a year. There's steady money in a tube you buy again every month. Nobody's running a commercial telling you to reach for the plain stuff. It sits there with a long name on the label, and most people walk right past it because no one ever told them what it does. You're being told now. So here's what I want you to do this week. Grab a bag of plain, unflavored psyllium husk. Check with your vet on the right amount for your cat's weight. Then start small. Stir it into the wet food. Keep the water bowl full and give it a few days. Watch the litter box. Soft, formed stool instead of hard pellets is your sign the gut is moving again. That's the whole thing. You're not chasing hairballs off the rug anymore. You're fixing the slow gut that made them. If this changed how you hear that morning retch, subscribe. Next time I'll show you the everyday feeding habit that quietly wrecks a cat's digestion. And always talk to your vet first, especially if your cat is straining or off their food.